most people have had those kind of experiences, haven't they? Where the pet's knowing what they're thinking. I mean, there was a research done recently where they looked into this phenomena of pets who knew that their owners would be coming home from work or from a journey. And, you know, they set up cameras with clocks so they knew the time and could see what was happening. And it turned out that the dog or cat would start responding and behaving and getting excited when they checked. It was actually the moment the person thought about, oh, I'm going to go home now. So sometimes it would be 2 hours before the person actually arrived home that the pet was all excited, you know, scratching at the door, waiting for them to come home. And so it really touches upon that whole amazing area of this interconnectedness between not just humans and animals and plants, but all life, really. And, you know, even when you're thinking of, and I think most people have had this experience, and studies have shown that it's like 70% of people have had this experience, that you're thinking of someone and the phone rings and it's that person. Or conversely, you ring someone up and they go, oh, I was expecting you to call. And it's this whole area of some kind of connection and web between all living things that we sometimes just get a little glimpse of, and it's amazing and it's very interesting, but then we sort of go back to normal life. And I think, you know, looking into this area, it really opens up just how incredible and the possibilities that are inside of that for humans.
Yeah, the secret life of plants and animals, right? And again, they've been around on the planet for millions of years, and there's a harmony in nature. There's a beauty in nature. It's not all beautiful. There's a cruelty in nature too. It's not all, you know, beauty and love and harmony. There's a cruelty there as well. But by and large, the fact that it goes on for so long, that the forests were in full flourish and for millions of years, and then the human comes on the scene, and we know what's happened in Brazil and so many countries. Brazil is one of the last places standing. That's why it's getting the attention, but other countries have been devastated by man's arrival. So that it's pretty obvious that our track record is not to arrive, learn, harmonize, appreciate, respect, but to arrive and devastate, not only, of course, animals and trees and plants, but other humans also. So yeah, I think there's a kind of serious mind shift, or a mindset shift, I was going to say, a mindset shift, which is, you know, when we look at a tree, or even if you research about a tree on the internet, or an animal or whatever, everything always seems to point to what we can get from this thing.
Yeah.
What we get from it. Even if a father's talking about a particular tree to his son, he's going to say, you know, we use this tree, it's important because we use it for shadow and we get this fruit from it, and its wood is good for this. And this sort of mindset that everything is on the planet for us to take and use and consume. And obviously part of life has this aspect to it. But imagine something looking at you that way, looking at some greater, more intelligent creature, looking, well, we can use his bones for that, and we can use his, you know, head for that. I mean, it's sort of horrifying. So, you know, the Maori, for example, I heard a tale once that the Maori, when they wanted to build a canoe, they would go into the forest and they would declare to the forest, they would ask, is there a tree here that would like to sacrifice itself, would be willing to sacrifice itself to be a canoe to service our community, our tribe? And they would wait then, actually wait until they got a sense, a signal coming from a particular tree that it was willing to do this. Then they would do a kind of reverence ceremony around the tree before cutting it down of gratitude. And then the tree would be considered, as it came into the community and into service, it would be remembered that this tree gave its life to be part of our community. And that those kind of sentiments, if we don't have them, when we approach nature, when we approach these things, they pick up on the previous mindset, which is I'm going to use, I'm going to take, it's all from me. And in my experience, and from what I've heard from other people, and from what I've learned from different studies, the lives, the electrical lives, the soul, the finer intelligence of trees and plants will withdraw and pull back, just like we pull back from somebody who's dangerous, who's approaching. And so people are going to have less chance than ever of feeling anything. It's already difficult to feel radiations and things anyway, but if the tree is also pulling back its presence because it doesn't want to, it doesn't feel comfortable with your intention, with your radiation, then you've got double the problem, less chance still of feeling anything in nature.
I had an amazing experience like that because I'd heard this idea about that trees had like a soul or an inner life, and if humans come by in a threatening kind of way, it retreats down into the ground. And it was summer, and must have been about 9 o'clock in the evening. It was dark by then, and there was a local park, and I thought I must go and try this out, because that's my nature. I hear interesting things, but I got to check it out for myself, try it for real. So I found a tree in the middle of the park, and I just went and stood. I told it that I would want to spend some time with it, and meant no harm, and sort of asking its permission, really. And so I just stood. It must have been for about 20 minutes. And, when you're only about 19 or 20, it's hard to stand still for 20 minutes doing anything, particularly nothing. But I persevered with it, just with my back to the tree. And after about 20 minutes, I felt this energy and power surge into my body. And I felt like I was glued to the tree. And it wasn't just from the trunk. I could feel like that entire area of the tree just really quite highly energized, and I could feel that presence of something coming out. And then I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to go. I just wanted to stay. It was so amazing, and it was so cleansing and energizing. So I stayed there for about another 20 minutes, and I had something else to do, so I had to go. So I reluctantly left, but I said to the tree, "Thank you. What an amazing experience." And therever after, even walking past that park, I could feel this connection. There'd been a connection made between me and that tree. And you think of trees, they sit there spring, summer, autumn, winter, in snow and blistering. So they can't go anywhere. They can't leave anywhere. And it's almost like the one continuous experience. And I really got this whole feeling that it was something special for the tree as well, to actually have a human come, and there's some kind of exchange that went on between it. And even now, 30 years later, and I live in another suburb, even just talking about it, I can feel like a soft sort of aching in my spine of remembering. It's like that connection is still there. Yeah. And many years later, because I love artwork. It tells you so much about history and what humans think and feel. And I was always caught by that painting. It's quite a famous painting of St. Francis of Assisi. It's called the Lecture to the Birds. But he's standing there, and there's all birds around him, absolutely still. But then squirrels and deer and like a whole range of animals. And after that experience, I understood that whatever that man was processing, whatever he felt and believed and was connected to, it was like all of nature felt at ease with that and could come closer into his presence. And that's why I love the story about the horse whisperer, because deep inside of that is that example where there's a direct connection made with that other life form, and then both have a trust and both can have the exchange because they need not fear harm or danger.